Yeah, yeah, that's a good answer. That's my answer that I go to, especially whenever I'm streaming. Um,
Mhm.
cool, cool. Let's just jump into it because we'll let people just enjoy the up moments in some of these alts. Really nice to see consistent green days, right? But one of the other things that is super super green and bullish for me is what you've been working on. So I'm gonna bring up and share it on my screen. But if you want to take a minute and actually share with everybody, maybe an introduction. And by the way, again, always correct me. Make sure I'm not saying it wrong. Elys Network. How do you say it?
Ellis, absolutely, Ellis Network.
Elys Network. Okay, I was just making sure there wasn't some like other weird freaking twist of the tongue that some people are saying this, but I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. Tell us about Elys Network, man. If you want to kind of give us the quick rundown.
Sure, absolutely. So Ellis Network is the first really project within the Cosmos ecosystem to go after not just the PerfDex market, but the all-in-one DeFi market. So we are an app chain. Our goal is essentially to be a platform where a user can come in and take care of everything DeFi, whether it be the swaps that you normally would do on like a Kujira or Osmosis, or whether it would be your perpetual trading that you do on DYDX, or participate in something like a USDC lending, like you would do on something like Aave. So we're trying to run the gamut of the entire suite of applications. So that's going to be our strategy when we launch. One of the cool things for us that we recently announced is that we're going to be an Atom economic zone consumer chain. So this is a big deal for us because we'll be the first perpdex to launch with the partial set security construct that Informal Systems is working on right now. Pretty exciting next 8 to 12 weeks that we're going to be going through. Thanks for having me, by the way, on the show because it's really, really exciting to connect with your community. I've been a big fan of you guys, ever since I found out about your show, particularly because I love the education focus that you have. So it's just it's an honor to be here, and I look forward to learning more from you guys as well.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I think I'm the biggest goofball of Cosmos talking heads, but I really do appreciate that. Sometimes we can be informative if people are paying attention. That is, that's amazing. That's big. That's huge, right? Let me. I think that this you guys are a sleeper, and for many reasons. I've been following you guys for a long time, right? But and I've kind of been in the know, but I definitely think you guys are asleep, and I'm not trying to boast them up, guys. Like you guys know me in the way that I am. Whenever I put out content, guys, I don't try to like, I'm not. We can just get to transparency. I'm not paid by Elys Network and none of this stuff. But I'm just being honest. I like the fundamentals. I like the team. I like what they've been doing, the focus, and where they've been kind of like laying down their groundwork and who they're linking up with. As you guys just heard, they're linking up, with like the best of the best in my humble opinion, within the cosmos, and that is humongous. How many people did not even know about Ellis? And you guys don't be shy just because he's here, but like honestly, this is going to be one of them that everybody's going to want to know about going forward. What's up, Batfet? Chad, did you know about Ellis? Did you even have your eyes on?
Today, talking to these fine folks right now, this is the first time I've ever even heard of them. So,
Yeah,
being honest, no.
chicken tacos.
I had heard of it, but I had not personally gotten around to doing research in it. Literally before I even knew you said who it was, like just probably 10 minutes ago, I had just followed them on Twitter.
So today, this
So
is this is
I
this
was getting there.
Okay. That's a great Reddit segment. This is the reason why I'm asking that is because today, from here on out, I'm so bullish on this platform. Even though I'm sponsored by others and I'm involved in others, I'm telling you guys right now, like my commitment is to the people. I am so bullish on this that it is my commitment to actually get the word out and spread the information about LS Network going forward because you guys need to know about this platform. And so that's good for me because I think this is has huge potential, and I think this is just gonna get more and more eyes on it, especially if I have anything to do with it. But anyway, yeah, let's dive into it. Do you wanna like kind of start anywhere, or, like do you want to just dive into it? How do you want to do this?
Yeah, thanks for the kind words, Tank. So I actually think so. We just did an upgrade today, so we still have some things that are not fully functional on our web app, obviously. But I'd like for you to go ahead and share it if you have that link. I know I've sent you a demo link. I think you also have
Uh,
another private tester link.
yeah, I think
So yeah,
well, I'm using the private tester link here. And
Okay,
then
great. Yeah.
did I miss the
Oh,
other
yeah, if you
link?
want to use that one. If you want to use the private testnet link and display it.
Send me another one. I might have missed one. This is the only one that I
Okay.
had.
Okay, I just DM'd it to you. Either one. Yeah, or just the one that you're using is fine. You can display it. It's going to be turned off in the next week or two when we go to the public launch.
Okay.
But I think it would be really nice for the audience to follow along and see what we're doing. So as you can see,
Wait. Do you wait? Actually, you know what we
we
could do? Do you on Discord, if it's easier, would you like to share your screen on Discord and we can just capture that screen?
oh, this is fine. I actually like the way you're displaying it. Right.
Okay. Okay.
So I kind yeah, this looks great. So I'm seeing what you got here. So I see you're logged in. So right now, because we did an upgrade today, some of the asset information is going to be turned off. But
Ah,
basically,
that's
what I
what's
want
going
to
on. Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
was
So
looking at I
we
was
did
looking
a
at this earlier, like a couple of days ago, and I was like, and I turned it on this morning. I was like, that's not the same as what I remember a couple of days ago. Okay. Okay.
yeah, and right now while we're in testnet, we're going through a lot of different upgrades. So we're probably upgrading 2, 3 times a week at a minimum. And every time we upgrade, we have to go ahead and change some things with the front end as well as our API. So you're going to see that it's going up and down. It's on and off throughout the week.
Okay.
But when we go public testnet launch, it will be a little more consistent with the announcements and things like that. So I was hoping it would be ready. Unfortunately, it wasn't turned back on yet.
Okay.
But one of the things that we tried to do here with this dashboard is we really tried to take the feedback from, you know, 2 to 3 years of just, the frustration of DeFi users, whether it be in the EVM
Hmm.
space or within Cosmos, of, I just can't figure out where everything is, right? Or I just like, I feel like I'm jumping through hoops to get from one screen to another. So we really tried our best to get the dashboard to really give you a great starting off point for where everything that you need to do on our platform.
Hmm.
So you'll have a total balance of portfolio and a rewards view right at the top. One of the things that we're going to do is have a loyalty program. So everybody will start off as a bronze member, and then you'll work your way up to silver or gold based on either transactions or amount of TVL on chain.
Okay.
So we want to encourage our loyal members. We want to encourage the members who do a lot of activity by giving them discounts. We think they're going to have an advantage over using our platform over other dexes, particularly if they're making a very, very large trade and they can get a fee discount. And it's good for the market anyway, for them to make those, to do that anyway. So we want to encourage that activity. You can see our deposit and withdraw buttons. If you want to go ahead and select the deposit button,
Hmm.
you'll see that we try to make this as close to a feel of a centralized exchange as possible, right? So when you click on that deposit button, if when you guys are able to access the testnet, you'll be able to get yourself some faucet tokens. So that link is there just for the testnet.
Yeah,
But
and I've already claimed
we
mine, so
want
you
you
guys aren't going to get any more than that.
to, and you'll be able to claim it once every 24 hours. So that faucet's probably not going to work right now. You could try it, but well, with the upgrade, yeah. So oh, you already claimed. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the idea
Nice
here is to
right
be able
there.
to get your assets onto the platform as quickly as possible.
Mhm.
So this would be the exact same way that if you're familiar with like a Coinbase or a Binance or crypto.com, you can just hit that button to get your funds in. And that's not turned on because none of the on-rampers actually support testnets. So that's
Yeah.
just a placeholder until the main nets go live. And then if you're familiar with just the standard IBC that you're used to for the other dexes, that'll be the next link. So we try to make this very, very simple. Log in with the account abstraction with Google, for example. You log in, you're in 5 seconds, hit the deposit button, hook up your bank account or your credit card via one of those third parties, and you're in. So again, we wanted it to feel and give you the confidence that you would when you're using like a much, much larger, much more established platform.
Hmm.
That's our goal. That's what we're looking for. And in the same manner, you can do the same thing with the withdraw button. You can get your funds off, send them off to your bank account right away. So I know this was a big pain point for a lot of users
Hmm.
using dexes. Is like, well, how do I need to get it to my bank account? I need to IBC it to the original chain, and after I get it to its chain, then I got to send it to a centralized exchange,
I
or I got to sell
literally
it to
just
you.
did that earlier this morning. I was telling everybody I sold a little bit of ETH and I had to do that to my bank account earlier this morning. I was like, oh, this is such a pain.
Yeah, so we try to just remove that pain point, and we think that if we do, it's going to actually, yeah, not just target the user who is like using Osmosis or Kujira, because that's certainly not our intention to take those users, because we love those projects. It's our intention to actually grow the ecosystem by bringing people from outside and bring them in. So, I
Love
do
that.
want to make that a point because we actually view Osmosis and Kujira and the other dexes in the space as super essential to our business strategy, right? So
Hmm.
we love Osmosis. I've reached out to Sonny a few times. I love that guy. The thing is, they have an outstanding user base. They have a super loyal user base. I would venture to say that almost all of us probably here are Osmosis token owners, right? So we want to see them succeed because it helps us. So as they grow and we can deepen liquidity within the Cosmos ecosystem, it actually allows for much more efficient market dynamics. Right? Once you have that deeper liquidity, you actually allow better trading to occur on both platforms, right? And then you can have actual asset flow between the two, and it's super mutually beneficial for both, right? So this is essentially how financial markets work, right? Like imagine if everybody was just a JP Morgan Chase customer
Yeah.
and there wasn't a Bank of America and there was no Wells Fargo and there wasn't all these other banks, right? It
Hmm.
would not be an efficient system. I think this winner take all strategy, while some people might think that's the way to go for a specific ecosystem like Cosmos, maybe there should only be one DEX. I hear that argument all the time. I caution against that because it's not if it's already been proven in financial markets that it's not the most efficient system. So, but it doesn't mean that they all shouldn't grow, right? They absolutely should grow. Like I
Yeah.
was just looking at Osmosis's daily transactions, $30 million daily. That's not that much, right?
No.
So we got room to grow. We got tons of room to grow. So I'm really, really excited. I mean, if there was ever a time to be bullish about what's coming to Cosmos, it's about that we are literally in the first inning, right? So I just wanted to highlight that because I think that's really, really important when you're looking at something like Elys Network,
Hmm.
that we're here to like with a collaborative and cooperative mindset. We're not trying to steal Osmosis users. We certainly don't want to do that. We want
That
to
you've
bring
already
new
you've
users
already
in.
beat me to one of my major questions that I was going to ask, like how are you going to deal with the conversation of a PPP landscape and just another DEX being launched? Like it's so good that you're already leaning into that. Yeah, I completely agree with you, man. Like we always talk about things here as far as like
Rex Kwando, we use the buddy system. No more flying solo. You need somebody
I
watching
forgot
your
that I have
back
these
at all
alerts
times.
for when I get subscriptions, so it's gonna cut me off in the middle of it, guys. Just thank you, Chicken Tacos. Well, but we talk about all the time here having options, right? Is critical for actually growing adoption, and for like the rising tide raises all ship narrative is very much true in that sense that when you do have options, even if all the Cosmos native is going to be like, oh no, just another DEX, that Dex, like Chicken Tacos and a few others are saying in the chat, that hyper focuses on doing certain things really, really well in comparative, to their neighbors that are, in the same neighborhood, living side by side peacefully, just doing their thing is going to be beneficial, right? Just by having those new neighbors, having that new person doing something extremely well compared to what Osmosis does extremely well, compared to what Kujira also does some things extremely well. And that will just help, like you're saying, in turn, those other dexes grow, which again, just waters your own plant. So I really like that like I said earlier to you guys, right? I really like that mindset and that focus that you guys have had all this time, where you guys aren't here to PvP. You guys are here to like water the entire garden, right? Have you talked to Dead, right, Dove from Kujira at all, or no?
I have not. No, we've actually reached out to Kujira. I think they're extremely busy, right? They ship very, very
They're
quickly.
super busy.
Um, you know, yeah, my the validator team that I'm with OtterSync, obviously we validate for Kujira, and
Uh-huh.
super super impressive team. So really excited, like you're saying, right? As they grow, they do a lot of great things for the Cosmos ecosystem, and I think that's actually been, believe it or not, in my opinion, Kujira's growth has actually been one of the things that's helped Osmosis in a big, big way,
Yeah.
right? So, and whether it be like maybe even like quote unquote lighting the fire under their butts or something, to develop better, right? It's good for the entire ecosystem, especially for the end user who's looking for more features. So super, super happy to
A
see the
competitive
way this has
market's
been
a
playing
healthy
out.
market. Yeah, a competitive market's a healthy market. Anybody that looks at competition is like bad. Just I don't know, man. I don't vibe with that. Chicken Tacos, Chad. Do you guys have anything you guys want to add before we move on?
I thought the feature of being able to buy it off your credit card is pretty awesome. I'd like to be able to buy stuff, buy crypto off my credit and pay it off in a month and maybe make a little money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you guys using for the on-ramp service?
We'll have a number of different on-rampers. So we're talking to
Sweet.
Cato right now, which I think is also the one that Osmosis uses. And we'll look at on-ramper as well as MoonPay. So there's going to be more. So one of the things that's actually really constructive about what's going on is obviously with the addition of a native USDC from Noble Chain, a lot of these on-rampers actually did not have the tooling to handle native USDC. They were still using the kind of the old school bridging methods.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually really, really constructive in that they're now able to use the CCTP. They're going to be retooling and readjusting to the new way of doing things, which should bring the cost down for the users. Because if you look at, for example, if you go on Cato on Osmosis, you'll see that the fees are pretty high, right? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, they're charging you a lot of money, right? So that's a big pain point for us, and we've been talking to those guys about like, look, you got to get these fees down for users, or else they're just simply going to still go to centralized exchanges and do it the other way, right?
Yep.
We are trying to unlock these possibilities. So one of the really, really great things that we love is, we've been talking to Noble quite a bit, and Yelena is like one of my absolute favorite builders in Cosmos because her vision is so cool, right? Like she knew that this was all about laying down the roads, right, so that people could drive on them to get here. And so the whole idea of Noble enabling, native USDC to come into Cosmos I cannot understate how important that is for getting the size of the Cosmos ecosystem to just grow dramatically, right? Like she built the roads, right? She built the roads and everyone's coming in on it.
Mm-hmm.
And now these on-rampers can drop their fees. You can get, thousands of dollars worth of USDC over the Cosmos for like $1 or less, right? 50 cents maybe. So, I mean, these are really, really big deals that enable a lot of activity in the Cosmos ecosystem. It's going to unlock so many more possibilities. I cannot understate how important that is.
Yeah, it's exciting times, super exciting times. All right, so we left off at depositing cash, transferring cryptos. We all know, well, hopefully. And if you guys are here watching for the first time, definitely come and check out the Cosmos ecosystem. Get yourself a Kepler wallet. There's a bunch of different wallets, actually. I just have, and I need to update this. But there's Leap Wallet, there's Station Wallet, Kepler Wallet. You guys can find that down below on Twitch. It's really, really simple. It's a web-based browser. Make sure that you guys do your due diligence. This isn't going to be like a wallet stream or anything like that, but go check it out. It's really easy, and come check out the Cosmos ecosystem. We got tons of stuff happening over here. Cosmos ecosystem, in my humble opinion, still the best ecosystem by far in the greater crypto landscape. But so hopefully you guys know or don't know.
We use the buddy system. No more flying solo. You need somebody watching your back at all.
Chad, I appreciate. I gotta cut that shorter. I appreciate that sub, man. But if you guys don't know how to do native IBC transfers, it's real simple. I mean, basically, you just hit it, set it, forget it. It kind of does it on its own in the background. But yeah, we can go over that in just a little bit. Let's actually assume that most people here have heard or know a little bit about all of that. Where do you want to go next on the platform?
We can go to the swap page.
Swap page.
So before we didn't get a chance to take a look at the sign-in page, which is totally fine. But like you were talking about, we do have Kepler.
I can do that real quick.
Wallets.
Real fast. Look,
sure.
easy.
If you want to log out,
easy peasy.
Yeah, we're one of the things we're actually spent a lot of time on, and it was a very, very robust debate. Like within our team, and then also just talking to the community. Is how do we actually get the user to sign in, right? So if you click on the connect with digital wallet, you can see that it's still got the normal connection methods that somebody is used to, right? Oh, I want to get in with Kepler, Cosmos Station, or Leap, and we're going to add MetaMask Snap to that with using their feature functionality there. So that's still there for the user who wants to just pick up right where they left off from a previous DEX. And then of course we do have Ledger enabled. So, but for the new user who's like, well, I don't know how to do this keys thing, I don't know how to do any of that. No problem. Just use your socials, right? So you'll click in. We use account abstraction through Web3 Auth, and you can just click on like a Google account or whatever one of those accounts you want, and it'll create an account for you. It'll ask you if you want to set up MFA, which we highly recommend, and then off you go, and you're logged in within about 5 to 10 seconds. So that was the goal in terms of like trying to get it so easy, and it was based on your own experience level, what you wanted to do, how you want to interact with this. We were trying to create an entire range of possibilities for somebody to get on the platform.
Yeah, this is awesome. Like, how many? Tacos. How many? Chad, how many other places, specifically within the Cosmos ecosystem, do you have chance to connect with your socials. I don't know.
That's-
I don't know. I
that's-
have any other one.
No.
Yeah.
Can you add Telegram in there? There's a lot of people
That's
on
been a
Telegram.
big, that's been a common ask. We do need to go to Web3 auth and ask them if they can do Telegram, because it is kind of funny that Facebook's on there because
Nobody uses
how many people are
it.
going to log in with them?
Nobody
Yeah.
uses
Hey,
Facebook.
boomers still use Facebook, okay? My mama and all that stuff, and we need their money to come into crypto as well. So it's good that you have Facebook on there. One of
That is
them's
a
gonna
good
click
point.
it. One of them's gonna click it and be like,
That's
I have
from
nothing else to do.
2008.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. But you're absolutely right. I was at ETH Denver, and everybody was like, "Well, how come I can't log in with Telegram?" I was like, "God dang it! You're right. You're right. We need Telegram on there." So we'll
Yeah.
talk to Web3 auth. If Web3 auth can't do it, we may have to do it ourselves.
Oh,
So
sorry, puppy.
okay, so you're in, so we can go to the swap page.
Sure.
Again, we did the upgrade today, so some of these things are not going to work. But what I wanted everyone to see is we put a lot of thought into what information does the user want to see on the swap page. So if you try, so Elys doesn't have a chart. So if you just select maybe Atom instead of Elys,
Here.
then you'll see we actually we use our own custom Oracle solution. So we aggregate information from Osmosis, Bandchain, and Binance, and it ends up being a total of over 15 sources. Then we take that data and then we check it out for validity. So because we can compare 3 different oracles, we can actually look at any kind of discrepancies. If there was maybe some price spike that wasn't an actual market event, we can actually throw that data out before we feed it to the DEX. So we put a lot of thought in this design because we don't want traders to get hurt, and we want to make sure that the pricing data is always accurate. So that's why we did that algorithm before we feed the price in.
Okay.
And then we also feed external liquidity data into our DEX, which means that we actually will be able to give you the best slippage because we don't necessarily use our own pool depths for that. We actually look at other markets and figure out where their slippage is, and we match it. That's how we give people the best pricing. It gets a little more complicated. That's with our dynamic weighted pools, with the AMM style balancer pools that are 50-50 that you're normally used to seeing, kind of the Uniswap style or Thorchain, et cetera. Those will still be done, as via the balancer method, which is not Oracle based, right?
Right.
As you can see here, you have the atom price. You have a chart that you can look back at, and once the API is working again, hopefully I'll be able to demo this to you guys in full when everything's working. You'll have all the information displayed to you, and we didn't want to overload the user with information, so we actually just kept this chart fairly straightforward. When we get into our perpetual page, when that gets unlocked in a few weeks, you'll be able to have the full trading view tools. So you'll have all the advanced charting tools that you like to do. I know, Tank, you love those tools.
I was gonna
I know you
say,
can't wait
yeah.
to get your hands on those. So we made this fairly straightforward. So if I want to place a swap, and like I said, it's not going to work today, but you would just do it the way that you're normally used to. But one of the things we do differently is we've also placed limit orders, limit buys and sells. So I believe we are the first DEX to actually do this on chain. Anybody else who was doing this, I believe, was settling these off chain via order books. So that's a big deal for us because we, as much as we respect the teams that did order books, handling it via third party off chain is a little bit dangerous, right? Or you have to trust the third party, and then you're doing something centralized anyway. So all this stuff on chain.
Yeah.
This is all done via Cosmosm, by the way. So this is all smart contracts. So everything that you see
Wow.
here that gets fed from the front end to the back end, all the orders you place is all Cosmosm. So it's a testament to our engineers who, some of our engineers when they started last year actually had some Cosmosm knowledge, but they become Cosmosm experts, which is really, really awesome.
If you guys
By
have
the way, we're
wondered
hiring
where,
a Cos-
I was gonna say, if you guys have wondered where all the devs have gone, you see where they're working. They've been working on stuff.
and we are hiring a senior Cosmosm engineer. I'll make that plug right now if anybody is interested or knows somebody. We're looking for another one because obviously development
Rex
work
Kwando, we use
is
a buddy
definitely
system. No more
high right
flying
now. So
solo.
anyway, I just
You
wanted
need
to
somebody
display this
watching your
page
back at all
because
times.
and I really wish we hadn't upgraded today so I could show you all the cool stuff. So for example, like once the transaction is placed, you then see it down at the bottom there in your order history.
Yeah,
If you
I've
had an
actually
open
been able to
position,
actually do this. What was it, like a month ago or whatnot? I promise you guys, it works and it's really freaking cool. I was able to actually do it, so at
yeah.
least I got
Well,
to
it just means
understand.
I gotta. Yeah. Well, and by the way, if you want to do a future show and you want to showcase this on your own, when it's back up and running, that would be amazing, right? If
Oh
you
no,
want
we
to
definitely
actually
will.
show
We
those
definitely
features.
will for sure.
Cool. Awesome. And so the cool thing is too, if you have an open order from like one of your limit buys or sells, it'll display your open orders and you can always cancel them. So
Hmm.
we wanted to make sure the user's not like locked in. It's like, oh man, I created an order I didn't want to. So you can always cancel it.
Nice.
So then the other page, the only other page that we have up right now is the earn page.
There we go. Yeah.
So on earn, you'll see that we have three different ways for a user who's not participating in liquidity pools to kind of take a more conservative approach on how they want to earn some rewards. So USDC earn is essentially a USDC lending product that'll have a conservative return to it, and it's kind of like a an expression of the view of like, okay, well, I think the market's going to be really healthy in the decentralized peer-to-peer type lending market. I'd like to maybe allocate some USDC there and then earn some rewards. And then Elys staking is just your standard on-chain staking. So you'll stake your Elys there. What we do differently though is we use a vesting token called Eden. So when you stake Elys, you will receive Eden as your staking reward, which vests over 90 days. And that's really, really important because
Mm.
we didn't want stakers to simply dump their staking rewards every day. So we wanted them to be a long-term participant in Elys. One of the reasons why we went with that design, I remember it still stays with me today, Tank, when we had our first talk on Twitter Space, when you said, hey, why does somebody in the liquidity pools not get to participate in governance? I
Yeah.
still remember that question when you asked me that, right? And I said, you know what? That's a great point, and I need to take this back to the team. We need to talk about it, right? And so we decided, okay, if somebody's staking Ellis, they can vote, but why is somebody in the pool not able to vote? And so we worked this through and we said, okay, well, our pools will be all USDC paired. So they don't own any Ellis, which means they are not bound to being forced into doing anything else because they don't own any Ellis. So we actually bifurcated it to the point where if you're a pooler, you can get out anytime you want because there's no bonding period. But if you're a staker and you're participating in governance, now you're subject to the bonding, and now you are saying, "Hey, I'm taking part in these rewards as an L staker. I want to be a part of the governance system, right?" So
Yeah.
that's how we took that approach.
Nice.
So we use the 90-day vesting model because we want to encourage somebody to be like, "Hey, if you're going to be here for governance, you're going to stick around. 90 days is not that big of a deal for you, but you're showing that you want to stick around and be a part of this." So that's why we did 90 days. And then after 90 days, the Eden can then be claimed for Ellis or USDC. We do pay out rewards in USDC. And then if you wanted to recommit that, that's the right side of the screen, right back into the system to earn additional rewards.
Hmm.
You could use the Eden boost function, which is a multiplier. So
Oh man, I'm gonna
it
be
may look
degenning so hard. I swear.
yeah.
You guys are
So
giving me a complex. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I'm gonna degen so hard now. God.
it may look a little complicated at first, but actually some of this is very, very straightforward. And
Yeah.
the claim rewards features, because you'll be able to just click on the claim rewards, it'll show you how much you've accrued, and then you can commit it back in and then do the boost thing. So we'll have some tutorials and videos on that in the future. So
Cool.
um, let's see. So I think this is really one of the things that's going to be super exciting because our sustainable model, right? We only go to 200 million max supply. Our sustainable model is all about doing this with system revenue. So if you are, and I'll just pull just some basic numbers, but with Osmosis doing 30 million daily in transactions, right? And you factor the swap fees there,
Hmm.
that's a pretty just on transaction fees alone, that's a pretty healthy number that you're looking at, it's about $7,500 a day just in gas fees, right?
Yeah.
Depending on what you set your gas fees in. So that's 7,500 that just goes right back into the system. So it would be, split among the poolers, stakers, and then just a tiny bit goes back to the protocol just to fund the development. But the idea here is your rewards that you'll see accruing in all these earn programs are coming from that real revenue, right? Yes, we'll have inflation in the beginning just to bootstrap, until we get to 200 million tokens. But that the revenues that we're actually achieving are actually going out to poolers, stakers, and of course, as an Atom Economic Zone consumer chain, we'll be sending some of that back to the Cosmos Hub as well. So to
I
the
know
to the
th-
validators.
I know this is kind of an impossible question, but I'm gonna be an idiot and ask it anyway, just because I like doing that kind of stuff. Have you guys like projected out in theory, like how long that would actually take to reach that? Like if if you guys were to like I'm sure you guys have planned for X, Y, and B scenarios. Like how quickly do you think those rewards could get you know used up? I would say I don't know if used up is the right word, right? Because you said how much is there?
So you're talking about from the inflation. So
Yeah,
we're
for
going
the
to launch with
inflation.
50 million. So we'll launch at 50 million supply, and we're going to go to 200 million. So that would be, so the inflation is actually fairly high in the first, year or two, and then
Right.
we hit our fully diluted, right? We'll hit our max cap, and we'll be our fully diluted at 200 million. Um, I think it's done in like a sustainable, responsible way in that we're still obviously sharing revenue at the same time that we're doing this. Yes, we're rewarding the early participants with the higher amounts, and then of course, as more people come in, it just kind of stabilizes
Hmm.
because it's a risk reward function, right? So the people taking on the most risk come in and they take the most reward because they're placing the most risk by getting their assets into the chain. And we don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. I think that when chains did that in the past, the issue was they didn't know how to turn it off, right? And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. That's true.
that's where people got too addicted to it, and then they couldn't figure out what to do next. Oh, we'll just mint more tokens, mint more tokens, mint more tokens, raise the inflation, right? And that was the problem. They never had a plan to go into revenue generation. They just wanted to mint more tokens. So we want to make it very, very clear to our community in that, yeah, we're rewarding the higher risk, that's being taken by jumping in early. But our goal is not to mint more tokens. We get to 200 million, we stop, and we were being very transparent about that. The goal is revenue generation.
Hmm.
So to answer your question about how quickly can we get there in terms of revenue generation, I was just looking at some of the smaller dexes out there that maybe are launching in some of the the EVMs, layer twos, etc. Some of them are doing between 10 and 15 million in annual, I'm sorry, in daily swap volume. So let's just use 10 million daily swap volume, for example, and we charge a 0.2% swap fee. That's $20,000 a day in swap fees. That's $7 million a
A
year
year.
in revenue that actually goes, like no kidding, goes back to the poolers and stakers, right? So 7 million, okay, is not let's be honest, it's not a big number, right? It would be it wouldn't be enough necessarily to really make it worth people's while. But that's why we're an all-in-one DEX, right? We don't just do swaps. We have perpetuals, we have the USDC lend program, and of course we earn quite a bit off of margin interest. So we're multi-revenue stream. So it's not just the swap fees from the DEX. And again, this is just $10 million in daily swap volume, which is a very, very easy bar to achieve.
Right.
So let's say you did what Osmosis does today, 30 million in and I'm sorry if I'm throwing too many numbers at people. Is this too
No,
many
no, no.
numbers?
That,
Do you
that
guys like
this
the numbers?
this is exactly the question I was trying to get to express. Is like I'm sure you guys went and judged the volume on Osmosis and some of the similar dexes, and I know you're being conservative, and like you said, that 10 mil, 7 mils is low, but we're going into the bull, and the way that I look at Elys is it's not a Cosmos, so like it's kind of unfair to only look at what's happening in your surrounding neighborhood per se, but like if you were to average it up in a fair comparison, like this is what I was trying to get at. Like, where do you realistically see this going for yourselves, and when you talk with the team? So, anyways, for me, this is
Yeah.
exactly what I wanted to get into.
Oh, great. Okay, great. Yeah, and obviously, I mean, nobody can predict, exactly where we're going to go, but we can try to, kind of set guardrails in our expectations and try to be very, very realistic, right?
Hmm.
So for us, if we did, achieve eventually at some point down the road, 1 to 2 years from now, what Osmosis does, $30 million a day in just swap fees. So we're not talking about perpetual trading. You're looking at $60,000 a day in swap fees, right, off of 30 million in trading volume. That's almost $22 million a year annually, right? And that is on its own enough to completely not just reward everybody very, very well, but sustain our operations and pay our devs and give back to the Cosmos Hub and offer grants.
Yeah.
Going back to your point about growing the Cosmos ecosystem, one of the things we want to do with the money that the protocol, can take in is to offer grants, whether it's to be building dApps on our own chain or whether it's to be encouraging the development of new chains within Cosmos, because we don't grow unless we get more chains in Cosmos, right? So we want to be very, very clear that the collaboration and cooperation is super, super important to build out more and more activity within Cosmos, because we want more liquidity pools on our decks, right? We want more chains to exist, and potentially we might want to even have a launchpad offering, which would bring in a 6th revenue stream for Elys Network. So that's really like we take a really disciplined like business approach in how we view all of this. But the key is, if we can actually start achieving those sustainable revenues, the poolers and stakers will be absolutely happy. The stakers will have a very, very long-term mindset and like, wow, I'm generating sustainable revenue. I just hang on to my Elys, I keep it staked, take my Eden, I recommit it, put the multiplier on the Eden boost on there, and I'm just happy that I am just collecting my yield from actual revenue from the system and not somebody inflating the token.
Yeah, that's been, gosh, it's so refreshing to talk to teams who have real heads on their shoulders. Like, have you been paying attention to Astrovault, Eric and Ethan, and like their whole approach is a little different. Like their whole approach is just a little bit different. Like speaking with you and then them, it's like when you guys are actually thinking forward and not like being reactive, but more proactive in what you guys are building. It's so refreshing, isn't it? Like I'm reading the chat and not to hype everybody else up, but like I'm kind of laughing to myself because I'm seeing Chad and Chicken Taco say I'm aping into this. It makes sense. Let's do this. What's up, Ryan? By the way, Ryan says he's buying. What is he buying? He doesn't. Do we have a question? Potential for a launch pad at all?
We do have a launch pad planned, yeah. So we have to close our seed round first, but once we close the seed round and then finish out all this development, get the public testnet completed, we're also being concurrently audited, right? So Halborn Security is auditing us right now, which, man, they're awesome. They're just such a fantastic team. We love those guys so much. We hope we can keep that relationship going like all the way past mainnet launch. And they've told us many times, that they appreciate what we're doing, because I'm sure they get a lot of projects that are probably less focused on the product and service they provide and more focused on just launching something. So, but that's great. That's what makes a market, right? You have everybody that has kind of a different approach on how they want to do this. So to answer your question, yes, Launchpad, but more importantly, for all of you that are staking Atom and staking it not on a centralized exchange, you will get an Elys airdrop. Right.
What? Snapshot when? Details. We need to know. Give us the deets.
we're gonna. So is Maxime on? I don't know if his mic is on. Is he in the chat? Maxime is really great. Yeah. He's our community lead. Maxime, do you want to talk a little bit about the airdrop and introduce yourself?
Yeah. I think I can. I will just go straight forward on it. But yeah, so I'm Maxime. Maxime L on Elys, but I am the community lead at Elys. I'm working on many things like strengthening the community, creating many things like all the educational program we have. If you don't know about that, you can go into ZD right now, because even if most of the people are quite afraid about ZD because it's more like marketing platform for projects, it's not the case for us. You will see that our ZD is just a way for you to learn something, or at least work on your basics, because I know most of the people here might know everything about Cosmos, but it could be a nice way to try your knowledge, by the way. And about the airdrop, I mean, one of the good reasons why I decided to join Elys at first was because those guys are really involved into the community. It's kind of the earth of the project. I mean, really for this one. It's not very easy when you are a community to work with some projects, because every single project say the community is everything for us. The community is actually what we are aiming for, but most of the time it's not that real. So we are trying to build a real community, which is organic. I mean, you don't have to do some marketing thing for us. We are I mean, old enough to do it ourselves.
I'm gonna do it anyway. So you guys can't stop me. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. I think you're doing good on that. But yeah, I mean, the airdrop will be quite interesting. You will see it's like you won't have to grind by joining our Discord, just discussing with us, playing with our Zilly, and then coming to our weekly quiz because it's quite fun and you have some reward to rip out if you want to. But yeah, overall, I won't actually turn around the bush. The developer idea about our airdrop is actually to reward the users. Most of the action you will have to do will be on-chain actions. We will reward the community first, and also add-on stackers. I mean, uh, so yeah, the goal is to reward our community from different using different ways. Most of them will be used using our web app during the testnet, but also the mainnet. You will see that the campaign will be quite fun. You will probably collect some NFTs at the very end and then have some airdrops from it. But yeah, I won't say too much thing about that because I think it's the first time we are talking about it, Desham, right now.
Nice,
So
some
yeah,
alpha though.
yeah,
Breaking news right here.
yeah. But it will be fun. The goal is to make it fun and let you learn something down the road. So yeah, it's all about learning. It's very important for us to actually you can be able to grasp the concept of Elys, but also of the overall ecosystem, because we are actually aiming to partner with the most possible project we can. We don't we are not here for tribalism or anything like this. We just want to grow with the others.
Nice. Well, thank you for the alpha, guys. I hope you guys. Wait, in the chat, did you guys have staked Adam? Are you guys? Can they participate still in the testnet going forward? Will there be a chance for them to participate still,
Yeah.
or?
Yeah. I mean, you can actually sign for the waitlist on our website to grab your seat. The public testnet will be public, of course. So
Okay.
you will be able to participate. We will have a platform with some quests to do, not marketing quests or social quests, but just on-chain quests. It will be fun. Quests will be actually unveiled every single week. You will see, along with all the features we will unveiling during the Odyssey. Yeah, you will be able to check an article pretty soon when the public testnet will be launched and everything will be a bit clearer.
Nice. So, guys, again, you guys can go and check out their socials. I've been putting it in the chat for you guys. Later on, when I rehash this video out and kind of clip some segments, I will definitely put these links in any of the comment boxes down below, depending on what social platform it is. You will definitely find those links on there. But it's really easy. If you just go here, click on this hyperlink, it'll bring you to the website, join the waitlist, yada, yada, yada. You can get on the Discord. Really, really simple and easy to find all of their information. I saw one of the questions, geo-blocked or no? Nobody likes answering this.
So yeah, so our standard offerings like spot swaps will not be geo blocked, with the exception of areas where we absolutely cannot do any business. So we'll have a no privacy policy in terms of use. We'll have a full list of countries that we can't do any kind of operation in. But the leverage products is really the big one. So if you're doing
Yeah.
margin or leverage LP, there will be a restricted list of countries. Unfortunately, that's due to regulatory restrictions because we do not KYC our users, and we're not registered, for example, with the SEC. So, which of course, just like the others. So that's in line, unfortunately, with every other margin offering out there until we get some more regulatory clarity or approval to offer those goods.
I love how everybody in the chat, I'm not going to say this because it is on this trip, but I love how everybody in the chat already has an answer to it. They're like, I know what I'm doing. But good, you guys don't KYC.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment. Don't comment. But it's really great because like the basic features, and everything that we just previously discussed, for the most part, we could still partake in, right? Or choose to do what we will to reach that section of your guys' platform, depending on where you reside. So yeah, that's really awesome. You just had to ask that question, Hot Chicken Talks. You just had to. I live in space. Yeah, I don't. What do we do in United States? I don't identify as living on Earth. But in any case, what was I going to say? Gosh, I'm getting Chicken tacos, Chad.
I do want to go back to just real quickly on the airdrop, Jed, just to highlight what Maxime said, that yes, Atom stakers will receive an airdrop, assuming they go through the full claim, the claim process. Um, but also participating in the incentivized testnet will then tack on the bonus to that, right? So it is, and we're going to do it as a retro type style GPF of RPGF, right? So please do sign up on Elys.network for our waitlist so that when the public testnet launch gets announced, you'll be able to come in and play with the web app, and then your wallet that you're playing around with there will get, we'll be tracking your wallet. So one of our partners that is going to be really essential, in terms of like collecting this data for us, not just obviously our partners at Bonus Block, but our partners at Checked. We just had a really, really productive meeting with them at Denver. We're super excited to integrate the Checked Creds product, which if you guys have not been looking at Checked, these guys are legit. They are absolutely going to be a player in the space in terms of how they do, data analytics, wallet analytics in terms of tracking like power users, or like maybe even like tracking down malicious activity. They'll be an incredible tool for teams and users through their Creds product. So we're going to be having that integrated in our chain as well. So
Nice.
Just wanted to add that.
Nice. I still can't remember what the heck I had something while you guys were talking that I wanted to ask, and I cannot remember it for the life of me. Darn it. It's going to bug me all day long. Chad, Chicken Tacos, did you guys have anything else you guys want to add? Bashida Brown says here, another geo-blocked airdrop, man, that missed all the good ones this year. U.S. sucks for, yeah, but hey, you guys know what the deal is. You guys know what to do if you want to do it. Yeah.
Well, I'll put it this way. Look, it's really, really important when you're in these early stages, right, of crypto, right? Think about it. We're still 10, 20 years from like true maturity of this entire industry, right? And yeah, there's a lot of fear or uncertainty from the regulatory side because they don't really know what we do. So the biggest thing that we can do is like, as ambassadors of our space, and the people who are trying to set the vision going forward, is to be really, really good actors in the space, right? So for me, my preference is to be super conservative in how I take this approach as a co-founder. I do not want to place either the project or my community or the entire crypto space at risk because I was trying to skirt some sort of regulatory restriction, right? Yeah. So I have to be somebody who takes the conservative approach to get that to happen, because that's how I build trust. That's how I can go in front of a government official and tell them about my project.
Yeah.
And actually have a very upfront conversation about what we're doing, and not feel like he doesn't trust what I'm saying, or not feel like he doesn't trust my actions, right? So yeah. I want to be clear that the people who are running these teams right now and trying to grow the Cosmos ecosystem, I've talked to so many of them, and they are on board with this concept of just doing this with trust, transparency, credibility. And if you have concerns about your team that they're not doing that, it's best to bring it up early, right? It's best to not let it fester, and it's best to not let it turn into some of the things that we've seen in the media where people get scammed, people lose a lot of money, people end up going to jail, et cetera, right? So I want to be really, really clear. It's super important to me that we want to be good actors in the space, and I know that you want that too. I know that you do, right? I know you want this to be the thing that takes off and turns into a $20 trillion industry.
Yeah, well, I mean, ultimately, even by proxy, right? Like, I know it sucks because we're so used to airdrop season for Atom holders and stuff like that. But when you really think about it, the teams that are being more conservative, because and you guys know I preach this all the time. I'm more of a conservative degen in many things, trading and my positions and who I interact with and what I do. The actors that are acting in the best interest of the ecosystem in general, right? Or even by proxy, no matter what, like even if we miss out on that initial first, maybe benefit of getting airdropped or something like that, the Atom token that they're airdropping off of, like, or to and other parts of the world, it's going to see demand as well. So you're still getting like an indirect but direct exposure to what's happening. You're just, I get it. It sucks that it doesn't, and I agree with you, Bashida Brown. Like, I want to light a fire under people too that tell me what to do with my money, but it just, kind of just is what it is. And I don't think, honestly, I was talking about this recently as well. I don't think that it's always going to be this way. I think as we mature and as things kind of get laid out as far as the foundation of regulatory guidelines and all that other stuff, and that framework gets worked out, I think eventually we're going to start seeing that kind of come back and be more accepted. With platforms that have leverage and perpetuals, you got to understand it just is what it is for us here in the United States. It just kind of is what it is. So I get it. I get what you're saying, but I also get what everybody else is saying as well. I saw Chicken Tacos. Did you have 2 more questions? Did you say you had 2 questions? Yeah, you said right there 2 questions. Before we end out, does anybody else have any questions?
I do have 2 questions.
Okay.
Okay, so for the liquidity pools, have you guys thought of maybe adding like an auto compound feature to that, or that auto compounds your rewards back into the pools on a like whatever interval?
That is a great question. So I believe that's sort of already kind of baked into the design, because anything that the pools take in goes right back into the pools, right? So the pools grow in that manner. But in terms of saying like, okay, instead of saying, hey, I'd like to actually just take some, for example, if I'm earning like on top of that, the actual incentive rewards of like Elys or Eden as part of my additional incentives, if I want to compound that back into the pools, that's a good point. We could come up with a design on how to convert that into the token that you're participating in. You convert that into like an USDC, and then whatever your pool pair is, and then put that back in. So I'm jotting that down right now. I'll take that to the team. I think that is something that we have been thinking about. And I will mention too, because I didn't get a chance to mention it earlier, we're doing multi-asset pools as well, right? So you won't just have USDC paired pools, but you'll also have the ability to put 3, 4, 5 assets into a pool, and eventually will be permissionless. So you'll have the ability to list any assets in there. So yeah, but thank you for that. That's actually a really, really great suggestion.
And then my second question is for like the trading and the perps, like the limit orders. Will you guys have a publicly like accessible, like open candle data for people
we'll have
all that?
Yeah, all that information will be available. We'll have also not just in terms of like when you're on the perpetual trading screen, where you'll have all of your charting tools. You're also going to have all the stats data for what's going on chain. So when we unlock our stats, that information should all be all on there. And so when we showcase it, what we'll do is when we actually unlock the perpetual page, I'll send it to you, and then maybe you can tell me what additional information you want to see on there. If the information you're specifically seeking is missing or not, then we can get it put on there for you.
I'm just talking about like accessing it remotely through like a script, like through
Chicken Tacos likes to write bots.
I see. Okay, I see what you're saying. So remember, this is just the front end, right? So the front end is what's actually happening happening on the blockchain, right? So anybody can technically write their own front end and connect it to our blockchain, right? That they could make it look however they want. That's it. Because we're an open source code, right? You could do anything you want. So if you wanted to interact directly via with our blockchain via CLI and write your own scripts, we're open source. You can go on our GitHub right now and start working on it.
There you go.
I may just do that.
Yeah, just gonna say you're gonna do that.
And then send it over. We'd love to see it.
I will.
Awesome, Chad. Did you have anything you want to ask?
Nope, all good. I like looking at the website. It looks really smooth, and myself being a boomer, looks like it's easy enough that even I could use it.
Yeah, it's nice, man. It's super nice. But yeah, before we cut this off for today, because I want to do many more of these with you guys if you're up for it, is there anything that you want to cover before we end the show?
No, absolutely. Looking forward to being back on next time. Hopefully we won't be in the middle of an upgrade, so I can actually showcase everything. And then I think we'll have the perpetuals turned on, so we'll be able to showcase that. And it would be really great to hear your feedback, because I am not an experienced trader. I'm a buy and hold investor. So I would love to hear your thoughts on it, and you guys walk me through the perpetual page. How about we do that next time?
Chicken Tacos and I have a whole strategy that we've been working on. I can't wait to put it to work on here, man. See what happens. But yeah, for sure,
All
for
right.
sure. Guys, before we close out, definitely don't forget to go check them out on their socials. I'm gonna link it one more time for you guys. Definitely drop them a follow. And like he said, like I said many times, go check out this hyperlink here. It'll bring you to this LinkedIn tree where you can find their website, wait lists, all of their information, all their socials. Definitely follow them. Keep an eye out for Elys Network. They're going to be a player, guys. I'm telling you guys right now, and I don't say it often, but I really do think they're going to be a player in this space, and you guys aren't going to want to miss out on it. But yeah, that's what I got for today, guys. I really appreciate your guys' time, even my mods as well, guys. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. If there's any updates, please let us know. And guys, now that you're part of the family in our Discord as well, if there's any updates on Elys Network, link them there for us. Please do. I'll try to do our best, but if you guys have anything, you guys are more than welcome to always link it in our Discord.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Tank. Thank you for being with us since the beginning, and thank you for your support and keep us honest, right?
Yep.
Going forward, keep us honest. Make sure we're on the right track.
Definitely will do. Definitely will.